Hello and welcome to Theta Sigma's Doctor Who podcast number 52. This week we're continuing our look at some new Who characters, with that cheeky, brave, name-stealing 51st century conman,
Captain Jack Harkness. Stop it! Can I say hello to anyone?
John Scott Barrowman was born in 1967 in Glasgow, the youngest of three siblings. He lived in Glasgow for the first 8 years of his life. Barrowman's mother was a singer and worked as a clerk in a record shop while his father was employed by the Caterpillar Heavy Machinery Company. In 1975 his father's company relocated the family to the United States, where his father managed the Caterpillar tractor factory in Illinois. Barrowman recalls his family as loving but strict and mindful of etiquette, always polite and respectful towards others. Comparing the two countries where he was raised, Barrowman concludes, "Scotland gave us as a family closeness. America gave us the get up and go." Barrowman attended the Joliet West High School in the heart of a quintessentially middle-class conservative town. His high school music and English teachers changed the future course of his life, with his music tutor instilling in him the love of performing, and his English teacher encouraging him to realise his true potential. His English teacher moved him to a gifted programme and coached Barrowman for the school's speech team. With the support of his teacher, Barrowman competed with other schools statewide in speech competitions, where he sharpened his skills reading scenes from plays. As a freshman, Barrowman won parts in several musical productions, and from 1983 to 1985 he performed in such musical productions as Oliver, Camelot and Anything Goes. He spent his senior year shoveling coal for an Illinois power company. His father had arranged the job to give him some experience of manual labour. He worked for the power company for the entire summer but didn't take the job. He graduated from high school in 1985 and became a naturalised citizen of the United States while maintaining dual citizenship with both the UK and the US. After he graduated from high school, he moved to San Diego, California, to study performing arts at the United States International University. As part of an exchange program, he returned to Britain in 1989 to study Shakespeare for 6 months. Barrowman's professional acting career began in London's West End in 1989, playing the role of Billy Crocker in Anything Goes. He continued to appear in West End productions for the next decade, taking the roles of Domingo Hernandez in Matador, Raoul in Phantom of the Opera, Claude in Hair, Chris in Miss Saigon, Joe Gillis in Sunset Boulevard, and Beast in Beauty and the Beast. He was also part of the musical Godspell in 1994, and was nominated for an Olivier Award for Best Actor in a Musical for originating the role of Cal Chandler in The Fix, a performance he repeated in Hey, Mr. Producer. In 2002, Barrowman appeared as Bobby in Sondheim's company in the Kennedy Centre's Stephen Sondheim celebration. He returned to the role of Billy Crocker in Trevor Nunn's 2003 West End revival of Anything Goes, and appeared in West End non-musical dramas such as Rope in 1993, and he starred as Lieutenant Jack Ross in the 2005 production of A Few Good Men. He starred in pantomime productions of Cinderella and Jack and the Beanstalk, and played the title role in Aladdin at the Birmingham Hippodrome over Christmas 2007, and as a guest act for the Royal Variety performance at the London Palladium in 2008. Barrowman also played the lead in the Robin Hood pantomime at the Birmingham Hippodrome for the 2008-2009 season. He presented Andrew Lloyd Webber's 60th birthday party in London's Hyde Park on September 14, 2008. Barrowman's television career began with several appearances in short-lived primetime soap operas. He first starred as Peter Fairchild in Central Park West in 1995. The show lasted for 2 seasons on CBS. Next, Barrowman appeared as Peter Williams in Titans in 2000. That show was cancelled after airing just 11 episodes. Barrowman was also considered for the role of Will in Will and Grace, but producers reportedly felt that he was too straight, and the role eventually went to Eric McCormack instead. On the 25th of March 2008, Barrowman made a guest appearance in the BBC's Hotel Babylon. Entertainment Weekly reported that Barrowman would appear in the 2010 season of Desperate Housewives for a minimum of 5 episodes, portraying Patrick Logan, the ex-boyfriend at the centre of the Angie Boleyn mystery. Barrowman then announced on The One Show that his contract had been extended to 6 episodes. He also starred in the ABC drama series pilot Gilded Lilies, created and produced by Shona Rhimes, and appeared as Ben Carpenter in the low-budget film Shark Attack 3 Megalodon in 2002. Barrowman took part in the reality television series Dancing on Ice on ITV in January and February 2006. His skating partner was world junior gold medalist and 3-time Russian champion Olga Sharatenko. He was one of 5 celebrity guests on Strictly Come Dancing Christmas special in 2010 and achieved both the top score and also first place when the audience vote had been counted. His professional partner in the show was Christina Rayanoff. Barrowman is perhaps best known for his role in Doctor Who. When the series was revived in 2005, he came on board as recurring guest character Captain Jack Harkness, a time traveller from the 51st century. His first appearance as Harkness was in the 2-part story The Empty Child and The Doctor Dances. He then went on to appear in Boomtown, Bad Wolf and Parting of the Ways. Jack became so popular that he was given his own show, Torchwood. In the show, Jack tracks down and occasionally beds extraterrestrials with the help of his team. Barrowman continued to guest star in Doctor Who in 2007, appearing in Utopia, The Sound of Drums and Last of the Time Lords. In 2008, he appeared in the 2-part series finale The Stolen Earth and Journey's End. In 2010, Barrowman returned to Doctor Who with a cameo in The End of Time, along with other previous stars. In November 2013, he then appeared in the one-off 50th anniversary comedy homage, The Five-ish Doctors reboot. Barrowman's memoir and autobiography, Anything Goes, was published in 2008. His sister, English professor and journalist Carol Barrowman, helped write the book using her brother's dictations. In 2009, Barrowman published I Am What I Am, his second memoir detailing his recent television work and musings on fame.
Doctor,
Captain.
good to see you.
And you. Same as ever. Although, have you had work done?
You can talk.
But what about the good captain? Barrowman himself said, I wanted kids to like him. And I wanted women, men, I wanted everyone to like him. But first I wanted people to hate him. I wanted them to think he was arrogant and pushy and too sure of himself. And then I wanted them to follow the arc of the change that he went through in the final episodes of Doctor Who. In contrast to the Doctor, Jack is more of a conventional action hero, as well as outwardly flirtatious and capable of acts which the Doctor would view as less than noble. In the show's narrative, Jack begins as a time traveller and former conman from the 51st century, who winds up travelling with the Ninth Doctor and Rose. In the 2005 finale, however, Jack is killed and resurrected. As a result of this, he becomes immortal and finds himself stranded on 19th century Earth. Here he becomes a member of Torchwood, a British organisation dedicated to combating alien threats. He spends over a century waiting to reunite with the Doctor, over which time he becomes Torchwood's leader. Eventually he reunites with the 10th Doctor for several more adventures. Aspects of the character's backstory, both prior to meeting the Doctor and during his lengthy spell living on Earth, are gradually revealed over Torchwood and, to a lesser extent, Doctor Who, through flashback scenes and some expository dialogue. Jack is the first openly non-heterosexual character in the history of televised Doctor Who. The popularity of the character amongst multiple audiences directly influenced the development of Torchwood. The character became a figure for the British public consciousness, rapidly gaining fame for John Barrowman. As an ongoing depiction of bisexuality in mainstream British television, the character became a role model for young gay and bisexual people in the UK.
Just programming your descent pattern. Stay still as you can and keep your hands and feet inside the light field.
Captain Jack Harkness first appeared in The Empty Child and The Doctor Dances, when Rose meets him during the Blitz. Although posing as an American volunteering in the Royal Air Force, Jack is actually a former time agent from the 51st century who left the agency after inexplicably losing 2 years of his memory. Now working as a conman, Jack is responsible for unwittingly releasing a plague in London in 1941. After the Doctor cures the plague, Jack redeems himself by taking an unexploded bomb into his ship. However, the Doctor and Rose rescue him moments before it explodes, and he subsequently ends up travelling with the pair in the TARDIS. During his time with the Doctor, Jack matures into a hero, and his final 2005 appearance, he sacrifices himself fighting the Daleks. Rose, however, brings him back to life while she's suffused with the power of the Time Vortex, but she and the Doctor subsequently leave Jack behind on Satellite 5. Jack returned in 2006 as a character of the spin-off series Torchwood, in which he is a member of the Cardiff-based Torchwood 3, combating alien threats and monitoring a space-time rift which runs through Cardiff. Jack is reintroduced as a changed man, reluctantly immortal, having spent years on Earth while waiting to reunite with the Doctor. He recruits Gwen Cooper to the team, after she discovers them. There are hints of romantic feelings between the two, but Gwen has a boyfriend and Jack enters a relationship with Yanto Jones. Despite having worked with him for some time, his present-day colleagues know very little about him, but over the course of the series they discover that he cannot die. Jack was once a prisoner of war, and was an interrogator who used torture. In the Torchwood Series 1 finale, End of Days, Jack returns to the TARDIS. This immediately leads into the 2007 Doctor Who episode Utopia, where he joins the 10th Doctor and Martha. Jack explained he returned from Satellite 5 to the present day by travelling to 1869 using his vortex manipulator, and lived through the 20th century waiting for the Doctor. By the series finale, having spent a year in an alternative timeline enslaved by the Master, Jack opts to return to his team in Cardiff. Before departing, Jack speculates about his immortality and reminisces about his youth on the Beauchene Peninsula.
What about aging? Because I can't die, but I keep getting older. The odd little gray hair, you know? What happens if I live for 1,000,000 years?
I really don't know.
Okay, vanity, sorry. Yeah. Can't help it. Used to be a poster boy when I was a kid, living in the Beauchene Peninsula. Tiny little place. I was the first one ever to be signed up for the Time Agency. They were so proud of me. The face of Bo, they called me.
In Torchwood's second series, Jack returns with a lighter attitude and finds his team have continued working in his absence. They're also more insistent to learn of his past, especially after meeting his former partner, Captain John Hart. The episode Adam explores Jack's childhood in the Beauchene Peninsula, revealing through flashback sequences how his father Franklin died and young Jack lost his younger brother Gray during an alien invasion. Flashbacks in the series' penultimate episode, Fragments, depict Jack's capture by Torchwood in the late 19th century. Initially, Jack's coerced into becoming a freelance agent for the organisation, and eventually becomes leader of Torchwood 3 at midnight on the 1st of January 2000. The series finale features the return of Captain John and Jack's brother Gray, who after a lifetime of torture by aliens wants revenge on Jack. While Jack manages to repair his friendship with the captain, so to speak, he is forced to place his brother in cryogenic stasis after Gray kills his teammates Toshiko and Owen. Jack subsequently appears alongside the casts of Torchwood and the Sarah Jane Adventures in the two-part crossover finale of Doctor Who Series 4, The Stolen Earth and Journey's End. Jack is summoned along with other former companions of the Doctor to assist him in defeating Davros and the Daleks. He parts company from the Doctor once again, having helped save the universe from destruction. In Torchwood's third series, Children of Earth, aliens known as the 456 announce that they're coming to Earth. Civil servant John Frobisher orders the destruction of Torchwood to cover the conspiracy that in 1965 the British government had authorised Jack to sacrifice 12 children to the 456. Jack is blown apart in an explosion, but painfully reconstitutes himself from an incomplete pile of body parts. Gwen and Yanto escape, and later rescue Jack from a concrete grave. Jack's daughter Alice and grandson Steve are taken into custody by the assassins. The 456 demand 10% of the world's children. Although he handed over 12 children in 1965, Jack refuses to give up any this time around. In retaliation, the 456 release a fatal virus, leading to Yanto dying in Jack's arms. To create the signal that will destroy the 456, Jack sacrifices Stephen. 6 months later, having lost his lover, his grandson and his daughter, he bids farewell to Gwen and is transported aboard an alien ship to leave Earth for parts unknown. In the closing scenes of 2010 Doctor Who special The End of Time, the critically injured Doctor gives Jack a note containing the name of Titanic crew member Alonzo Frame, sitting on Jack's left-hand side. The two proceed to flirt. Torchwood's fourth series, Miracle Day in 2011, sees Jack return to Earth to investigate a phenomenon where humans can no longer die, but discovers that he has become mortal. Investigating their connection to the so-called miracle, CIA agent Rex Matheson renditions Jack and Gwen to America, but joins the team along with CIA colleague Esther Drummond after conspirators within the CIA betray them. Jack's investigations into the miracle repeatedly turn up dead ends, indicating a decades-old conspiracy to manipulate the global economy as well as political institutions for unknown purposes. Flashbacks in Immortal Sins depict Jack's relationship with Italian thief Angelo Colestano in late 1920s New York City, ending in heartbreak after Jack is killed, bled and tortured repeatedly by the local community. In the present day, Angelo's granddaughter Olivier explains that the descendants of 3 local businessmen who wish to purchase Jack's powers, the 3 families, are responsible for the miracle, using Jack's blood in conjunction with what they call the blessing. In the episode The Gathering, the team ultimately track down the families and the blessing, which is revealed to be an antipodal geological formation connected to Earth's morphic field running from Shanghai to Buenos Aires. The team divide, attempting to reach both access points to the miracle. In the Bloodline, Jack and Gwen kill him so that his mortal blood can reset the human morphic field. Gwen kills him with a bullet through the chest, while Rex, who transfused himself with Jack's blood to keep it safe, allows the blessing to drain him too in Buenos Aires. Rex survives and the morphic field is restored as Jack resurrects. At Esther's funeral, however, they discover that Rex has acquired self-healing abilities just like Jack's. Captain Jack doesn't appear in Day of the Doctor in 2013, but is mentioned by name. The Zygons manipulate the 11th Doctor into providing the access codes for Jack's vortex manipulator, which was bequeathed by Jack to UNIT upon one of his deaths. The device is used by the Doctor's companion Clara before they can steal it. Of course, there's much more that could be said of Jack's adventures in comic strips, books and on audio, but this podcast simply doesn't have time for all of that in one show. That said, I am considering a Torchwood-based show sometime in the future. What do you think?
Oh, goodbye, my dear chap. I must say I've had the time of my lives.
And that's all for this week. But just before I go, I wanted to give Scott Adam Julian a huge shout-out. Scott's the designer of the logo that the Facebook page has been sporting since its regeneration a while back. Earlier this week he contacted me and asked if I'd like a new page logo, and what you see on Theta Sigma's Doctor Who podcast Facebook page today is the result of Scott's hard work. My thanks to him for giving us this new design. Scott, it's awesome, and you're awesome too. For those that don't know, Scott does have his own Doctor Who related page on Facebook that you will want to go and look at. So head on over to Doctor Who Quotes and like their brilliant page. Don't forget to leave me your feedback on this week's show and your thoughts on a possible Torchwood episode too. You can post your feedback on Theta Sigma's Doctor Who podcast on Facebook or email me at respectthething@outlook.com. So until next week, when we discover that
you are not alone.
Thank you for listening to Theta Sigma's Doctor Who podcast. Doctor Who and its associated shows are all copyright and property of the BBC, and no infringement is intended.